From the forum to the fountain, Miss Lucretia makes every little citizen feel right at home. Today on Roman Road, we're learning why all paths lead to kindness and how to count to 10 in Roman numerals. Welcome to the podcast, Broadcast from the Past, where we imagine what broadcast news would be like before radio or TV. Joining me today is my friend Etienne.
Bonjour. Today's episode is about ancient Rome, but with a bit of a cozy feeling.
Before we dive in, let's orient you on the structure of this podcast. Each episode begins with a brief introduction where we explain the concept of the podcast and identify the time period we are broadcasting from.
Then we go right into the broadcast in character with guest voice actors.
After that, we check in with reality, with Keeping It Real, where we explain what facts were real, what facts were played with, and what was totally made up for the broadcast.
We will end each episode chatting about the research process, what we already knew, what we discovered while researching, and what we didn't get to include.
We will end with a list of readings and an acknowledgement of all the contributors.
Each episode is written by a passionate history buff who gets to choose which awesome moments of history we want to focus on.
I got to write this episode, which is set in ancient Rome in 44 AD.
Do you ever wonder what an educational children's TV show would sound like if everyone was running around in togas? No?
Well, let's find out anyway.
And now, on to the play.
Welcome, children, to Roman Road, the educational children's series for every good little Roman citizen. I want to make every one of you feel right at home, whether you live by the forum or the fountain. Today, we will learn how to wash our tunics, cook a nice, easy cena, and count to 10 in Roman numerals. All of this while understanding why all roads not only lead to Rome, but to kindness. 3 of my littlest friends are here today to help me. Say hello, Epicurus.
Hello, everyone.
And joining us from the Imperial Palace, Nero.
Hello.
And finally, our friend from Alexandria, Hypatia.
Hello, boys and girls. I'm so pleased to be here today with you, Miss Lucretia.
And I'm so happy to have each and every one of you with me today from near and far. Now, let's get started. Does anyone here know how your tunics stay so white?
I know. They stay white because you send them to the Filones, those people who wash and clean. I know. I have seen them through my window.
Yes, and they wash them in these big tubs or vats.
Oh, and they stamp on them with their feet.
That's right, children. And what do they wash them with?
I think it's alkali.
Almost, Hypatia. It's alkali. Yes, alkali helps separate dirt from the clothes more easily. But does anyone know what specific kind of alkali it is? Does anyone know what that smell is at the latrine?
Pooh!
The other smell.
Hey,
Yes, that's right. And do you know that urine can be used to actually clean your clothes?
But isn't urine dirty?
Well, it starts out clean, but over time, old and stale urine, once it makes contact with the air, interacts with minute creatures invisible to the eye, which eventually break down the urea in the liquid into ammonia. This makes the urine make that strong smell. and makes it very alkaline.
And alkaline is what makes the clothes clean?
Well, you do have to mix it with water and clay. When the Pholones stomp on the clothes, that alkali turns the oils and sweat on your tunic into a kind of soap that washes the dirt away. After the clothes are dry, the Pholones burn the sulfur to make the clothes whiter and then brush and card the wool to raise the nap. Voila!
So next time I want to clean my toga, I should just pee on it.
Oh, you are so delightful, Nero. No, peeing on it would not be that helpful. It is the chemical process that helps the Pholones get those tunics clean. So don't forget that every little thing has a purpose, even in our waste. Now, let's turn to our next little lesson, how to cook a proper Roman cena in 10 minutes. We will do a roast with a simple Roman sauce. Now, let's all decide who has what role in the process. Who wants to measure out the ingredients?
Me!
Excellent. And who wants to control the heat of the oven?
Oh yes, Miss Lucretia.
And then, perhaps, Epicurus, you can help me put the food together.
Yes, ma'am, I'd like that very much.
That's great, my little friends. It's always important to know what role each of us can play in the kitchen, so we don't have too many cooks in the kitchen. And now, Hypatia, for the sauce, we need to measure out the following ingredients using these small spoons. We need pepper, lovage, parsley, celery seed, dill, laser root, wild spikenard, Cyprian rush, caraway, cumin, and ginger.
How much for each, Miss Lucretia?
6 scruples each.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Nero, can you make sure that fire keeps burning?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, good boy. You are tending it very diligently. Now, Epicurus, let's put this broth with just a spoonful of oil over here, ready for Hypatia when she finishes measuring out the ingredients for the sauce.
Yes, ma'am. All this just for the sauce?
Yes, it is a lot of work. Of course, you don't have to make the sauce. You can also just cook a plain roast. In that case, you simply put the meats to be roasted in the oven, generously sprinkled with salt, and serve it with honey. But I think it's nice to have a little variety.
I'm ready, Miss Lucretia.
Very good, dear. Go ahead and pour the spices and herbs into the broth and oil very slowly while Epicurus stirs methodically. Good job, Epicurus. You're a natural.
What's this?
Oh, that will be dessert. It's a nice surprise for you.
What is it made up of exactly?
Oh, I know. That's the cereal, and that's over there is definitely olive oil. But I'm not sure about this.
That's oxagala.
Oh, can I help prepare it? And can I use the measuring cup?
Slow down, dear. Nero, watch your fingers. The fire's hot. Hypatia, let's finish one task before we start another. Epicurus, yes, exactly, carefully. Well done.
And now we add the yogurt, right?
Ooh, yogurt? You weirdo.
That's how we used to do it at home.
My father says Greeks are dirty and don't bathe. Plus, You are all slaves and born to serve the glory which is now Rome.
Now, Nero, put that match down, please.
But I want to flambe the meats.
Let's talk first about what you said to Epicurus.
Oh, fine. I didn't say anything wrong. I'm just repeating my dad.
Your dad is known for having quite the temper, but it's still no excuse. Let's take a moment to talk about Greek culture. Does anyone here know what the Greeks have given to the world?
Math! They invented math!
I love your enthusiasm, Hypatia. We don't know who invented math, actually. We have some tablets from ancient Sumer, but the Greeks did revolutionize math, and they discovered irrational numbers.
So interesting.
Whatever. I don't like math.
Would you like math better if you knew that it was related to music?
Music? I love music.
Yes, the Greeks also discovered the secret between numbers and musical notes, and why it sounds better when we sing some notes together than others.
Like do, mi.
That's right. No, Nero, put the violin away, please. Now's not the time.
Miss Lucretia, can I say something?
Yes, dear, go ahead.
I remember it was scary when I was littler, when the old emperor was killed. My father says that we would be blamed and we should hide, that the assassins were foreigners.
In reality, the assassins were Romans. Come here, dear, and don't be scared. You know what helped me when I was a little girl and heard about scary things happening? My mother would say to me, "Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping."
I'm sorry, Epicurus. Don't be scared. I didn't realize the Greeks were so awesome.
Good enough for now. And now, let's finish today's show with the Countess, our friend from Dacia.
But Dacia is...
Now, Nero, remember what we just learned. What was I saying? Oh, yes, our friend from Dacia, the Countess, who will help us all learn to properly count.
Yay!
Yay!
Hello, all my little darlings. Do you know your Roman numerals?
No.
Kinda.
Well, do not worry. Today, we will learn them together. Let's learn to count. Let's figure out how to count to one. Ready to have fun?
Yes!
In ancient Rome, when we're at home, we count to one as high. In ancient Rome, even at the dome, we count to two as I. And it goes like this. Say it with a hiss. Let's give three a miss. Ha! Stay with me. Can't you see? Four is clearly IV. In ancient Rome, you find in a dome, we count to five. Say it as V. So let's count from 1 to 5.
I, and V.
And V. Good job. And 6 to 8 is very clear. First, drink a beer. Oh, no, don't do that. You are too young. And then you'll hear V-I, V-I-I, V-I-I-I. Here it gets tricky, just a little sticky. To try for 9, you need the sign. For 10, which is X. Don't think about it too much. It's very complicated. You put an I before the X, and then you have the 9. Okay? Everyone! X.
X.
So let's count from 6 to 10. Ready? And
V-I, V-I-I, V-I-I-I, I-I-X, and X.
X.
all together now. From the beginning, it's
I, and V,
and V.
V-I, V-I-I, V-I-I-I-I-X, and X.
Now you know how to count to 10, and with the Roman numerals.
Yay!
Yay!
Again! Again!
It is enough, little one. Now sit down.
Well, thank you, Countess. That was very exciting.
With pleasure, my soft little Roman cheese.
And that's all we have time for today. Next week, we will learn about the Pythagorean theorem with our guest, Pythagoras.
Oh my gosh, he's my favorite!
Keeping it real. In this part of the podcast, we review the segment script and tease out what really happened, what we made up, and what was somewhere in the middle.
So, Tony, tell us, what was real in that, if anything?
Not much, that's true. A lot was inspired by reality, of course. Epicurus, Hypatia, and Nero were all real people.
But from completely different times of history in different countries.
That's right. The only person in his right time period and right location is Nero, who really was a kid in 44 AD in Rome. Hypatia lived in Alexandria more than 300 years later, and Epicurus lived 300 years earlier in Greece.
And Miss Lucretia and the Countess are fictional, right? I feel like you're parodying some famous people.
I am parodying very loosely and with much love and respect people like Mr. Rogers or Miss Rachel or LeVar Burton from Reading Rainbow, people who famously work with children on television or social media, as well as the Count Von Count, that Muppet from Sesame Street.
Okay, I can tell that the play is separated into three parts. A chemistry lesson on how clothes gets cleaned, a cooking lesson, and then a counting lesson.
Yeah,
And each of the children engage in the lessons in different ways.
that's right. Hypatia, since she was a famous mathematician, always engages in each of the lessons in terms of measurements, counting, etc. Like in the cooking lesson, she wants to measure everything, all the ingredients.
And Epicurus engages with everything with lots of high feeling.
Yes, that's right. Since in real life he was a philosopher who was trying to help people find happiness, he engages with a lot of feeling in all of the lessons. He also had a reputation for lavish feasts and a love of food, so there's his enthusiasm coming through that.
But it's very clear you're using him as an example of harmful stereotypes of immigrants.
Yes, I did a little research on how Greeks were perceived in this time period in the Roman Empire and then sprinkled a few things in there.
Was Nero's dad really prejudiced against Greeks?
No evidence of that, only that his dad was famously violent and had a foul temper. But there were a lot of Greeks who were slaves in the Rome of the time as a direct result of the previous conquest of the Mediterranean. And I show Nero changing his mind. In real life, Nero was actually a big fan of Greek culture.
What was the point of that exchange between Epicurus and Nero in your play?
Mostly to show that prejudice is learned and children can unthinkingly repeat what their parents say. Also, I thought it was important to show that Miss Lucretia perhaps took the wrong approach to convince Nero he was wrong by pointing out all the contributions the Greeks made to civilization, as if that is the only reason to respect people's human dignity.
That's a pretty serious topic for a children's show.
Yes, but I deeply believe that you can talk with children about most things. even very sad and serious things, as long as you manage it right. I often think about how Mr. Rogers talked about disasters and tragedies with children, saying things like, always look for the helpers.
And Nero himself seems to engage with every lesson with fire or music. This seems a reference to him playing the fiddle while Rome burned.
Yes, it was a bit of a cheeky reference. It's true. I thought it was funny to include.
He seems very hyperactive, yes?
Yes, I did write him that way, but also that he was a bit spoiled. So the combination has him wanting to explore everything, unable to sit still, but also not used to being told no.
Okay, so can I ask about the song?
It's pretty bad, right?
It could be shorter, but it is catchy.
I thought it would be great because of the fact that Roman numerals are letters. So if you are counting out loud, it could be like IV.
But wouldn't you just say the Latin words for the numbers, like unus, duo, tres, quatuor, all the way up to decem for 10?
That wouldn't be as funny.
Fair enough. Now, what about that recipe for the roast?
Oh, that was so cool. I found an old Roman recipe book from someone named Apicius
From the same time period as Nero?
just before. And you can still read the recipes on Project Gutenberg. Just look for Apicius' cookbook, Cookery and Dining in Imperial Rome. It's a little different from a modern cookbook.
Yes, I looked it up. The units of measurements are different. It has no times, etc. Pretty much just the ingredients, but you can still cook it.
That's right. And for the chemistry lesson, I took the description from a 19th century text written by William Smith. It was like a dictionary of Greek and Roman history and things.
So was urine really used?
Yes, it absolutely was. Both human and animal urine. There was even like a pee tax.
What?
Yeah, the Falones, the launderers, paid tax to the government to be able to collect the urine from central collection points before the urine mixed with, other waste in the sewers.
I am having trouble visualizing this.
Don't.
Why did you choose that as a lesson?
I don't know. I remembered reading about it in a mystery novel set in ancient Rome by this author, Lindsay Davis. I thought it was funny, but also thought it was one of those things that it's important that we and also children know about where some of our services come from and how the world actually works. In this case, the chemical reaction that is produced when old urine sits out and attracts the tiny bugs, these bacteria, which turn the liquid into a strong cleaner that mixes with the grease on dirty clothes, and it creates a kind of soap. I think that's cool.
Amazing.
I know.
One more thing I want to say. I love that the Countess called Miss Lucretia my soft little Roman cheese. Just for our listeners, if you go to the Naples Museum, you can see a piece of stone from Pompeii with this graffiti scrawled on it.
It's an endearment.
Most likely it's just an order for cheese, but still, let's move on to a reading list for our listeners.
Sure. As I mentioned, I used William Smith's A Smaller Dictionary of Greek and Roman Antiquities, Apicius's Cookery and Dining in Imperial Rome, and then I do want to shout out to the History Hits episodes on Ancient Rome, the channel on YouTube, and also the Lindsay Davis Falco Mysteries, Tacitus's Annals of Imperial Rome, etc.,
And I recommend also looking up the real lives of Pythagoras, Hypatia, Epicurus, and Nero.
as well as looking up information on how the Dacians were perceived by ancient Romans.
Dacia is basically where Romania is now, right?
Yes, exactly.
And that's why the Countess sounds like Dracula, because
Dracula's from Romania, right?
incredibly funny.
And also look up more information on Caligula. That's the emperor who was killed that Epicurus refers to.
Lisa Thornton and Dallas Reese played Miss Lucretia and the Countess, respectively.
Also, we have a group of very talented young actors as well. George Page, Alex Thornton, and Wiley Reese Arita as Epicurus, Hypatia, and Nero. And many thanks to their parents, Louise Whittet, Lisa Thornton, and Dallas Reese, for giving us permission to work in a child-safe environment with these budding voice actors.
Thanks, everyone.
See you next time on Broadcast from the Past.